Welcome to Livingbetteritv.com. Today we're talking to Drs. Marvin and Charlene Sprouse. They are the authors of 20 books and 20 plus years experience in life coaching and counseling. And they actually have 5 doctorate degrees between them also. And so today we're talking to Dr. Marvin and Dr. Charlene regarding a book that they invited me to co-author, which is called The World's Greatest Motivator. And I was very honored when they asked me to co-author that with them. And today I'm talking to Dr. Marvin about all the aspects of this book and how it can certainly help the audience in so many ways. And Dr. Marvin's going to bring some ideas to our audience about how this book can truly benefit them. And after this, in our next segment, I would like to speak on spiritual dynamics of belief therapy. You know, people do what they do because they believe what they believe. And in this book, people will understand how to change the belief systems so that they can overcome all sorts of problems in their life and especially adversity. So, Dr. Marvin, welcome.
Well, it's true confession time, Carol, and thanks for asking me about motivation. I love to talk about it. I love to talk about this book that you and I and Charlene wrote. I'm very excited about the book. And, you know, I am a preacher, and I promised I wouldn't preach, but I'm going to use one biblical passage here to illustrate what's in the book. The book is about the world's greatest motivator. And I say that the world's greatest motivator is discomfort. And the passage I want to give to you today is from the book of James, chapter 1, verse 2. And he says, "Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation." And temptation is translated as tribulation. And what he's saying is, when you have hard times, be happy. Be joyful, celebrate. You say, my goodness, that's great advice, but who can do that? I want to tell you something. Hard times are just wonderful little training adventures for you. That's all they are. If your boss comes in and says, look, they're not approving any loans, all the contracts we wrote up last week were disapproved. You say, well, goodness gracious, isn't this an opportunity for me to work a little harder and prove to myself that I can even close deals when nobody else is closing deals? Don't get overwhelmed by hard times. They're nothing but opportunities to shine. Let me give you an example. You know who the toughest people in America are today? They're probably the people who have survived one of these hurricanes or tsunamis. The Katrina survivors, my goodness gracious, they're so tough because they did survive, and they look back on that experience and they're stronger and they're just better people. When Ike hit down in Galveston, they snapped trees in two. And you know what they did? The citizens went out there and they hired sculptors to come in and make beautiful wooden statues out of the stumps in their yards. When I go to Galveston, I don't head for the museum. I drive around and look at the stumps. Those people are so tough because they survived a hurricane. So you're going to have hard times, you're going to have bad times, you're going to have customers who are just going to make you wonder, where did this rascal come from? I got to tell you, I was told to go down the street and go into every business and ask for a sale. I can't even remember what I was selling. I think I was selling some kind of a credit repair program. And I walked into my first business of the day. It was a motorcycle shop. And I encountered the rudest man I've ever seen in my life, and he almost pushed me out of his store. He was yelling at me. He was talking to me like I'd been assaulting his daughter. And I walked out of the store and I said, boy, isn't that great? Because I'm going to work all day long and I will never meet another guy today as rude as that guy just was to me. In fact, Charlene and I were driving down the street the other day. I said I should go in there and start quizzing him about the technical aspects of Kawasaki's and just ask him all the motorcycle questions I could ask him and just say, I don't want a motorcycle from you, and just walk out and get him back. But it's not about getting people back. It's about growing from the adversity. I hope I've given you a little motivation, because that's what I'm here to talk about, and that's what the book is all about. And Carol, I sure enjoyed writing that book with you, and you gave me a lot of motivation. You made sales when people were told they couldn't make sales, and I'm just so inspired by you and people like you who just put their head back and say, I'm not going to let the hard times stop me. I'm going to vault over these hard times.
Wow, that is so interesting, Dr. Marvin. Well, we really appreciate you being here today, and the book, The World's Greatest Motivator, is a very interesting book, and it does tell us how to, step by step, how to overcome adversity. It's a great help. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.